Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. I'm just going to keep it brief. This NXT wasn't as bad as I thought it would be because I thought it would be outright horrendous. I don't think it was that. However, the ending of that show was horrendous, and we'll get to that imminently. I would give this thumbs middle 5.5 probably out of 10 is what I'm feeling. Ashton, how'd you feel about tonight's NXT?
So much worse than you, apparently, because to me, this is one of the worst NXT episodes I can remember. I would give this a 3.5.
That's fair. All right, let's get into our first segment just immediately.
Where do I start?
Heat of the night.
Yeah.
Can I just go first?
Sure, feel free. You can take some off my list, maybe.
Very obviously, the biggest and only heat of the night, really, that I have is that ending.
Yeah.
Ciampa hasn't been relevant in the main event scene or the NXT championship scene generally for what feels like years. I know it's not that long, whatever. Holland, you were building up as this unstoppable force, the headbutt. I liked how they were booking it. And he loses already. And again, he loses to a guy that's not hot, that's middling at best. And for what? So that you have a kayfabe backdrop to continue a feud? Like, you realize that you can continue a feud when the baby faces, quote unquote, are just overwhelmed, but they have fighting spirit and they don't give up. Like, it doesn't have to be even keel for it to be a legitimate feud. At least that's where I am on my side of things. Long story short, I hated this. I hated that I feel like they already cooled down Holland so quickly when he could have been a force. He could have been the guy to beat Joe, but if you're losing to Ciampa, I immediately don't buy it. Ashton, am I being hyperbolic in any way, sir?
No. Continue, please.
That's it. That was my only heat of the night, and I'm keeping it succinct. Anything else would be a redundancy. This is really horrible booking. There's really nothing more to say than that.
Well, I like how you provided the lid to the cookie jar, and now I'm about to fill the fucking thing up.
There you go. Go off.
I mean, really, I could honestly make the entire show a heat of the night. There were I'm actually struggling to think of anything about this show that I didn't dislike. So let me just start from the beginning. I hate that they're turning Saray's dropkick into an injury risk via storyline.
Honestly, the funny thing is, that was one of the only positive things I felt about Mandy Rose versus Saray, because, like, obviously Mandy worked in a very, like, slow way. I'm not going to say she worked dangerously. I never worried about Saray, but she has to work so slow for her stuff to even look good and be safe that it, like, takes you out of the match. I thought Saray's stuff looked fine, obviously. And, you know, for me, I guess I'm in the minority here because clearly social media has kind of ragging on Saray.
Yeah.
I even saw one person, like, defend Nia Jax at Saray's expense.
Oh, my
and
God.
I don't know. Maybe...
That right there, though, you telling me that, though, that is exactly why this is a heat of the night. Because there were already stupid motherfuckers calling Saray unsafe. And now they're making a storyline out of it.
I guess in my view, I just like that the dropkick, which isn't even her finish, is being built up seemingly as this dangerous maneuver. I think it'd be hilarious if Mandy Rose donned like a Cody Rhodes-esque mask or something in the aftermath. But yeah, I wasn't too hard on that. But you know what? I can definitely see where you're coming from about, like, in this culture where, like, it very quickly and spread very quickly on the internet. If an opinion gets enough traction, such as Saray being unsafe, you don't want to fuel the fire for people that constantly work themselves into shoots. So I can sympathize with that point.
Yeah, I just hate that, like, really this is more on the fault of the people who are falling for it than anything. But the fact that there are already, and there were before this week, people on the internet talking about Saray is unsafe, she's a sloppy worker, she's going to hurt someone, whatever the fuck. And now they're doing a storyline where she's kayfabe injuring people with her dropkick. I just fucking hate it. It's in poor taste, in my opinion.
All right. So what else? Because you said you were going to fill the whole cookie jar up. One cookie.
Yeah.
What other cookies you got
God,
for
normally
us?
we try to limit these to 3-2, or at least we used to, but fuck that, right? I mean, really,
Dude, however many you're feeling, man,
you
go off.
already said that you hated that Tommaso beat Ridge, but I feel like that's kind of a two-way street because you like Ridge, and I agree with you, and we wanted to see him get built up. But really, I'm just gonna double down. Fuck Tommaso Ciampa. Fuck his promos. I don't want to see him on my TV anymore. He had a promo right after the Saray Mandy match, and I muted it. I don't give a fuck what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't know if this would be hyperbolic to say, but I almost feel like Champa is kind of in similar territory to Pete Dunne for us, where it's like he's just kind of in
Yeah,
this
well,
stasis.
no, I don't agree with
He
that
hasn't really
because Pete
changed.
Dunne's promos are bad because Pete Dunne is bad at cutting promos. Ciampa's promos are bad because I don't give a fuck what he has to say. No matter how passionately and how well cut his promo might be, I just don't care what comes out of that man's mouth.
Right, you're just over it. Yeah,
I'm
I can
over him.
understand that.
I'm over
I
him.
can understand that. Yeah, yeah.
I gotta be real, man. I don't like that Duke Hudson is already losing to like Kyle O'Reilly. What's Kyle O'Reilly being kept strong for? Is he gonna go after fucking Joe? No. Are they gonna send him after who even is the North American champion right now?
Swerve, our boy Swerve.
Are they
Who
gonna send
unfortunately
Are they
wasn't
gonna
on the
send
show tonight.
O'Reilly
Hippo
after
wasn't even on the show
Swerve?
tonight, I don't
Probably
think.
not, right?
I don't think so. I
Right.
don't see
Okay.
that.
So who are they keeping Kyle O'Reilly strong for? Why are they protecting him? Why does Kyle O'Reilly need to beat the new blood? I don't understand.
I don't know. Admittedly, it's funny again that you didn't like. I'll keep it to what you've just said, that you didn't like the finish of Kyle going over, because I will say I thought it was the best work master on the show. I thought the way
I
Duke
would
Hudson
agree
kind of
with that.
exhibited his power
I
was
would completely
really well
agree
done.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the psychology on both sides was really well done, but it seems like it's the finish specifically I'm wrong with, Kyle again going over.
It's
Like,
one of
okay,
those
well,
things
what's
where
the
I
end
shouldn't
game?
expect the new guy to go over the veteran, but this is supposed to be like this. Oh, it's the new NXT. We've got a new logo. It's a new presentation, and yet they've got a guy with as much star power as Duke Hudson has going against a guy who really doesn't need any more momentum. And like, it's Adam Cole isn't even with the company anymore. Like, where is Kyle O'Reilly even going to go from here? He doesn't need to keep winning. And even if Duke would have cheated to win, I would have been cool with that. I just think Duke needs something at this point. Like I don't know, man. I don't like it's. I think it's like a PTSD thing almost because fucking Brendan Vink, when he was Brendan Vink, was put on Raw and then did nothing, and then he was featured a little bit on NXT and then did nothing, and now he's fucking Duke Hudson, and he gets so far in the breakout tournament and then loses, and now he gets a little bit of an angle, and now he loses immediately, and now it feels like they're going to do nothing with him again. I'm just like, why do you refuse to let this man have something?
Yeah, I get that, man. As a fan of Duke Hudson, I totally get that. You know that I'm still in the camp of, and I love Carmelo Hayes, and I know you're a fan too. He did not a tournament win. I could have bought him, honestly, beating a Santos or even Swerve himself and an upset to put himself in contendership. Whereas Hudson, I feel like that tournament could have been and should have been his launching pad, because now, like, he attacked Kyle last week, right, to kind of get that heel heat. But immediately I don't necessarily want to say immediately, because I don't know if I quite believe that, because he did have, again, a competitive match with Kyle. But by tapping out and by, like, falling to his superior technical prowess, it's like, well, okay, so is Duke going to have to be relevant picking on somebody else? But then what if he loses to that person? Like, Duke's got to win sometime, and by win, I mean win a big match. And I just don't know if that's in the cards for him.
Okay. Again, just going segment by
yeah.
segment. Fuck off, Ilya Dragunov. I don't give a shit about Ilya Dragunov. Promos suck. This promo sucked. The crowd chanting "You deserve it" pissed me off. I don't like him. I think he sucks, and he's out here limping, selling the shit out of the match with Walter, which is cool. But at the same time, I just didn't like the promo. I don't like that we're still seeing this dude around. I thought he would win and then fuck off back to the UK.
I think he's going to after this promo. Beyond that, nothing really to say, since that is just your opinion and you're absolutely entitled to it. I agree his promo work is not great, So you can move on to the next heat of the night or nitpick.
Yeah, hey, speaking of people that can fuck off back to the UK, Kaylee Ray, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I've never gotten it with her. I think kayfabe wise, it'll be somebody to pad out Raquel's title reign because, oh man, I beat the longest NXT UK Women's Champion. But it's like a double-edged sword for me because I can't stand Raquel either. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like the NXT Women's Championship scene, save for the little tease that we got tonight with seemingly Frankie Monet stepping up to Raquel.
Dude,
but then
straight
you gotta
up,
hold your breath and hope that Frankie actually wins the title.
that was one of the best parts of the entire show. Full blown.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. Because it got me excited that we might finally be getting that match. But again, you got to hold your breath that she'll actually be able to pull it off, which we know she deserves to, but I don't know how NXT feels. So
Yeah. So now I'm going to form this heat of the night. Really, it's more of a nitpick, I guess, in the form of a question. Who the fuck is Grayson Waller? Why the fuck is he teaming up with the irrelevant Drake Maverick? And why the fuck are they on my TV? And more importantly, why are they on my TV? Also meaning Imperium has to be on my TV. I don't want any of this.
Grayson Waller, I think, is a 205 Live original. I think Foster would be better equipped, and I know he's in the chat to answer that question.
Okay.
I know
so to be fair, I actually do know who Grayson Waller is, but I'm more saying it as like a who are you kind of thing. Like, this dude's irrelevant. He's teaming up with Drake Maverick, who should also be irrelevant. Imperium sucks. Why is this match on TV? Why is this match not happening on 205 Live as opposed to on NXT, which is actually on television?
Ultimately, I think where I'm most sympathetic with this line of complaint is that it really isn't. It isn't a positive flex about the depth of your tag division, and I think it's quite the contrary. I think it shows how paper thin the tag division seems to be. Really, every tag.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't necessarily think Grayson Waller sucks.
God knows that's a train wreck.
But why are he and Drake Maverick teaming up?
Right.
And if you have an explanation for that, why not explain it to us before the match?
Don't just throw it together, walk me through it kind of thing.
Yeah, because apparently something happened on 205 Live where Drake Maverick was scouting Grayson Waller and was impressed. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but nobody watches 205 Live, so fuck you, show it to me on your TV show. This is AEW all fucking over again.
Yeah, you really could just do like what they do all the time with other segments. You could take footage from the other show, that being 205 Live. You could play it for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Same way they did with Saturday getting assaulted by Gigi and JC Jane.
Yep.
One of the segments you could just play like that. Like, oh, here's just a quick look at Grayson Waller and Drake Maverick, and there you go. It's that simple. It's really not that complicated.
Okay. Next problem. Again, this is literally every fucking segment. I'm sorry, guys. I'm basically reviewing the show via Heat of the Night. LA Knight beats Johnny Gargano because Dexter Lumis distracts Johnny Gargano after helping him. What the fuck is this? Why is LA Knight still winning matches? Why are they keeping him relevant? Johnny Gargano is like the most entertaining thing, not counting Hit Row, who weren't on the show tonight. That's another Heat of the Night. On NXT, and he's out here jobbing to LA fucking Knight. And by the way, Johnny he did a slingshot spear, and LA Knight botched it, and it basically turned into like a DDT. They didn't sell it like he DDT Johnny. Johnny still went for the pin afterwards, but Johnny literally landed flat on his fucking dome.
Yeah, here's my problem with this. Obviously, I don't like LA Knight, so I'm not thrilled about him winning. And I do agree with you about Johnny being one of the best acts on NXT, right behind Hit Row, which their absence was definitely felt tonight.
Yeah.
I don't like that in character, right? Speaking from a kayfabe perspective, if I'm Johnny, well, now I do have a legitimate reason to hate Dexter Lumis.
Yep.
Because he cost me that match. Like, why did Dexter, if I could have done this, and I'm going to sound one of those obnoxious reviewers that feels like his armchair gives him some kind of authority, but I am going to be that guy. If I was booking this, I would have had Johnny, because he's so hyperbolic and comical, he would have taken his eyes off LA Knight for 1 second. He would have seen Indy making googly eyes at Dexter like she was at the beginning of the match, and been like, hey, pay attention to my match. You know, you got to do this. And then, like, split second later, LA Knight capitalizes because then that's Johnny's own distaste of the relationship, not Dexter Lumis actively sabotaging it. That would have actually been, if I go back, because I know I only had one full-blown heat of the night because fuck Holland losing, that would have been a nitpick for me. In character, you just gave Johnny a reason to not support this relationship beyond his own prejudices against Lumis.
What exactly was
like
Lumis reaching his hand out there for in the first place? Like, what purpose?
Dude, I don't know. And I'm glad you're not the only one asking, because I'm right there with you. Like, I didn't know what that was about. And, yeah, so I don't know. That was definitely very, very confusing to me, for sure.
Okay, let's see. Let's move on. What's next? Well, you know, I'm actually, for once, I'm not going to complain about Raquel because her match with Jesse was one of the better matches on the show, oddly enough. It was a little bit clunky, but Jessie is very much improving. I'm a big fan of what she can be. Not necessarily what she is yet. There's still definitely, you know, some edges to smooth out. But I really, really like her look and her personality, and I think that her in-ring ability is definitely getting closer to being where it needs to be. So, not even going to complain about that. And I also like that Frankie Monet is now kind of in the conversation with Raquel, because we had the Raquel Jesse thing, and then Frankie, you know, we kind of got the shoulders brushing between the champ and Frankie. Just going forward, let's see. I don't have a problem with Roddy and Ikemen, and then we get to the main event, and that's it. And you know what? I'm actually going to double down on the finish, because not only is it worthy of the heat of the night that Ciampa beat Holland at all, but I'm going to even double down on that because fuck NXT associating an amazing babyface like MSK with a shitter like Ciampa.
Yeah. Dude, we're practically in September, because it's going to be officially September in like a little over an hour and a half. When is War Games every year? Because I almost have to wonder if we're building up to a War Games match with the Holland faction. I get November. That may still be a little far off for a War Games match, but honestly, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if I guess it'd be more appropriate to call it Dunn's faction, given that he does seem to be the lead heel of the group, even though I far prefer Holland. Wouldn't surprise me if they were in a War Games matchup. I've been curious the next War Games match that they're going to do, now that the Undisputed Era is no longer like a part of NXT as a faction. Hell, I mean, Bobby Fish doesn't even work there anymore. So yeah, they could keep this going until then. I doubt it. I want to say that I doubt it because we're still a ways off, but just something to keep in mind. I will say, since you only talked about the matches and we didn't really talk much about the interviews, I am excited that Mei Ying is going to wrestle next week. That was another bright spot for me.
Yeah. That's like, I don't know if I could even count this as the heat of the night, but like, I hate some of the matches that they booked for next week, because it's like they're putting a bunch of really great talents against people I hate. Like, Io Shirai is wrestling next week, and I can't get excited about it because she's tagging with Zoe Stark and taking on the diminutive dumbass.
Yeah. It's rough, man. It's rough.
Like, Ember Moon is wrestling next week, and I can't get excited about it because it's against Kaylee fucking Ray. I don't care about Kaylee Ray. And then, like, MSK defending the tag titles, but Danny Burch. What the fuck? Like, I feel like it's like a monkey paw episode of NXT next week. There's good shit that's ruined by bad shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, that's essentially, like, I mean, there was other stuff that we didn't hit on, but it was only just, like, backstage stuff. Johnny and, Indy and Lumis were backstage at one point, and, Johnny was a little creeped out by Lumis, and he's like, just be normal for once in your life, and it led into the match. We got Io and Zoe and Casey and Kane backstage. I hated it. That's just all there is to it, because they're still playing up like, we're a real team, and you're not a real team. But Zoe's like, but we can be a real team. And Io's like, I hate all of you, which she should, because she's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Io, you're so above this. John, here's an honest question for you. You know me, and you've known me for a long time now. Have I ever actively rooted for someone to get called up more than I want Io to get called up right now?
I don't think you have.
Maybe Bianca at one point.
I think your desire to see EO called up was my desire until I thought he could go elsewhere for Adam Cole to get called up. So yeah, because she's so far above this dude, it's ridiculous. And you know me, to kind of take the ball. Like, you know that I respect. I've never loved EO like you have, and even I can say easily she is so far above this. Like, dude, I don't want to be that guy, and I can't believe I'm fucking saying this with how often we rail against this shit. She would have just been better being in the stereotypical tag team with fucking Saray, because at least we'd be getting amazing fucking matches out of it, I think. At least on their side, doing their thing. Where with this, it's like, God, the matches aren't even going to be worth it because Io's the best worker in those matches, where at least I feel like Saray could at least compete with her to a degree. And it's just, it's rough. It's rough. I guess just one last question for you, and then honestly, I'd be content just going to high spots, low shots, because this is the first time that Heat of the Night and a formal review practically coincided. I'm guessing you didn't like the new Diamond Mine members either, because I think those are the guys you're referring to as geeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the? I literally said they look like they're fucking wannabe Winklevoss twins.
Yeah, I mean, Foster asked about them in the chat, and I'm just telling him the truth, and I'll say the same thing here. I'm keeping an open mind. Because isn't one of them Parker Boudreaux, or no? I thought one of them was
God, I
Parker.
hope not.
Can somebody give me confirmation on that? If I'm just like, because I'm a horrible person in that regard. Like, I think it's one person. It's probably not that guy.
Oh, no.
But you know, if it isn't, you know, I'm still waiting for him, I guess, because it seemed like they were making
I'm
a big
looking
deal
on
out of him.
Fightful. Brutus and Julius Creed.
I mean, I like the names, admittedly. But yeah, I'm keeping an open mind. I'm keeping it open. We'll see what they do. I just, when is fucking, because Hideki Suzuki, right, is the one guy's name, right?
Yeah.
When the hell is he wrestling? Like, he looks imposing as
I
hell.
don't think he is in the group as a wrestler. I think they actually said that he was a coach.
That's kind of weird, though, isn't it? He looks like the most intimidating one.
Yeah.
All due respect to Roderick, like, I look at Hideki, I'm like, I don't want to fuck with that dude.
I mean, maybe he's like the Mei Ying of the faction, where he'll only get involved physically when he really needs to, you know?
I know he's on the older side, because isn't he in his 40s even? But, like,
I don't know about
so
that.
is Joe, and he's our NXT champion. Like,
Hideki Suzuki is 41. Wow, he is 41. Damn.
yeah, so, like, I don't know. And I know I'm not alone on this, because I know Javaris has said, like, he wants to see him compete. And I think a lot of people online have said they want to see him compete. If it's not going to happen, I'll have to make my peace with it. But, yeah. All right, guys. Really, there's nothing to add. I let Ashton have the ball because I really didn't have much to say about this NXT anyway. And I kind of diverged where, you know, I felt necessary. And I agreed with a lot of it where I felt necessary. So there's really nothing more to say than that. High spots, low shots. I'm going to say my low shot's Reg Holland. I mean, easy fucking low shot. Here you are, looking like a tank, looking like this imposing force, and you lose to a guy that is way past his peak. Like, this isn't even anywhere close to Ciampa's best. He has never been more middling and more lukewarm than he is now, and you lost to that Ciampa. That's not a good look, especially as the heavy, seemingly, of, again, what I would call tentatively Dunn's faction. So Holland is a very easy low shot for me. What about you?
I think, God, I want to make myself the low shot because I had to suffer through this shit show. But to be real, I love the Ridge Holland pick because it's like, fuck you NXT for making us make Ridge Holland the low shot. He deserves so much better. I think my actual low shot is gonna go to, I mean, low key, I'm gonna give it to Duke Hudson. I really thought, you know, he tries to bully Kyle O'Reilly last week, and then he taps out to him this week. I hate it. I hate it, John. I hate it.
Perfect. Honorary high spot, Santos Escobar for that suit. Listen, I know you got Wild and Mendoza. Adopt me and take me to Men's Warehouse, Daddy. I could fucking rock a suit. I promise. So he's my honorary high spot because it was great to see him on the show.
Like the way you look.
Made me miss Hit Row, though, admittedly. Yeah. I like the way he looked. I can guarantee it because I'm me. Let's see. Actual high spot. I was really hoping to just give it to Ridge Holland because he beat Ciampa, but obviously that didn't fucking happen.
Oh, no.
You know what? My high spot, forget the haters, forget the peep hand ringing on social media. My high spot's Saray. Way to go, woman. Like, having a move that works people so much, and now in kayfabe, it's one of the deadliest moves in your arsenal. If Mandy Rose, again, comes out in like a Cody Rhodes-esque mask, it's perfect. It's like, because you've already put your foot on the gas, and I'm always the type where if you put your foot on the gas, fucking floor that motherfucker. So I'm going to say Saray is my high spot, because she won by count out, and she didn't even have to use her finisher to do it. That's some boss shit. So who's your high spot? If you can think of one, because I know you hated this episode.
Great match with Ikemen Jiro, picks up the win. You know, it's who did he lose to last week? I forget.
Who did Roderick lose to? I think
He lost to someone. I don't even know if it was last week, but it was very recently, and we were upset by it because it was supposed to be like an.
I think you're thinking of Dragunov when he lost to, which might have been either last week or 2 weeks ago. It was Dragunov.
Yeah.
Even said like,
and they said he was a heavyweight and stuff. Yeah, okay, but yeah. So yeah, this is like a proper cruiserweight open challenge. It gets answered by Jiro, and Roderick gets the win. So good for you, Roderick. Good job.
Which I think was smart booking to NXT's credit, because since it is a proper cruiserweight, to your point, it shows that Roderick really can dominate this division, and Kushida's going to have his handful. So, yeah, I like that. All right, guys, we're out. Already, we're out. This has been NXT.
Fuck this show.
This has been TWitWoW, the best. There you go. Wrestling podcast, but not this show, because it's the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinate direction. Guys, be sure to like the videos you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely you are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Click the bell icon and subscribe so you never get miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we offer down below, especially the TWitWoW Patreon, where you can see our price points and what we offer. The two things I always like to point out are additional Q&A questions for $1. Q&A is September 30th this month. It is the end of the month, 7 p.m. September 30th. Non-Patreon donors get 3 Q&A questions. If you donate $1 to the Patreon, however, you get 2 additional Q&A questions for a total of 5. So be sure to consider making that donation. If I were you, though, I would just donate $3. Get the whole TWitWoW bundle, because you get the additional Q&A questions, and you get access to the TWitWoW Discord, which I have to shout out again. The live wrestling discussion channel was awesome. On a scale of 1 to Foster, I give it a Foster, because he was a part of it, and I fucking love his face. So, yeah, if you want to be around a great group of people and just an amazing server, think about donating $3. Get access to that TWitWoW Discord, and again, those additional Q&A questions. Be sure to follow us both on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Already got like a few replies on there. Easiest way to submit them is either that or the Q&A channel on our Discord. Again, going back to that $3 donation. Also follow Ashton on Twitter. He's @Ashton_TWitWoW. And his pinned tweet is of immense importance because it's the recording schedule for the month. So,
I actually am finishing up my September schedule as we speak. Not literally as we speak, but like tonight. So I'll try and get that up. Thing is, the previous schedule went out until Saturday of this week. So I'll just make sure to try and get the September schedule out before then, because we are going to be going live on Sunday. So obviously that's the next day, that it's the first day that's not on the schedule.
Yes, we'll be going live Sunday at 4 for selective match reactions of Wrestle Grand Slam. So we'll get that more formally set up soon. But on the schedule most immediately, guys, we've already covered the Stardom shows on this schedule. So we're all caught up. We did the 828 show today. You can go on the channel and listen to that if you are a Stardom fan. And if you're not, I implore you, please subscribe to Stardom World. It's some of the best wrestling in the world right now. But if you're here just for the WWE stuff, hey, we got all things for all people. We will see you 10 p.m. on Friday, September 3rd, for our SmackDown review as Finn Balor takes on Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Going to be very interesting to give our thoughts on that match. Until then, guys, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Tune in. Peace out.